welcome. Thank you for coming to the Oakwell BioBlitz. This is such an exciting turnout. I really appreciate all your time. It's going to be a great day. So I want to have a show of hands. How many people have been to Oakwell before? Okay. All right, so there are some people for whom Oakwell, this is the first time you're going to see it. So what a way to see it. That's wonderful. So I want to talk really quickly about the goals of what we're trying to accomplish today. We want to document the biodiversity across taxa of Oakwell. So we have experts here who are going to help with all aspects of this, and we have a plan for how we're going to approach all 18 acres that are behind us. The second goal is to learn as you're doing it, right? So these experts are here to document the biodiversity, but talk to you about why these species matter, how they link with the ecosystem, what is the ecological value of the 18 acres that we're going to look at today. Through all these things, our hope is to increase awareness about this place so people understand the value of it, why it needs to be conserved, right, at a point where it is threatened because of possible plans by the Lower Merion School District to convert at least some of it into sports fields. So those are our goals for today. Basically, what I want to say is every step you're taking today is going to be on the former grounds of Stoneleigh, the 65 acres of Stoneleigh that were here going back to the late 1800s. And so Stoneleigh was subdivided about 100 years ago, and the portion you're going to see was kind of forgotten about over the past century in terms of its significance in Stoneleigh's history, right? And so this is not only an ecologically valuable place, but a historically valuable place. So it's really wonderful that all of us get to be here. Let's see, we're going to be covering 18 acres. 13 of those are Oakwell. Another 4 acres is Squirrel Inn. And the reason why we're doing this is we want to get the entire intact landscape from County Line Road to Montgomery, okay? So the way this is going to work, we're dividing everyone up into 3 big groups so we can cover the 18 acres. Each zone has a lead, we'll call them out, and then each zone lead has a list of experts across taxa. So we're looking at trees, plants, birds, fungi, and vertebrates. We're going to cover all that, and we have experts here to help you with all of that. So I'm going to call out the leads so you know who you want to find, and we're going to subdivide into 3 large groups and then figure out amongst those groups how we want to subdivide even further, okay? So Oakwell West is this part of the property. It's highly wooded. Oakwell East is the meadow. It has some lawn, the middle, it has some lawn area. We're going all the way up to the Claremont fence line, all the way down to Stoneleigh's fence line. And then all the way over by Montgomery Ave is Squirrel Inn. That's a place that has 1 observation. So, and that has so much biodiversity there. I'm really excited to document it. So, all right, zone 3 over there, zone 2 here, zone 1 here. Have fun. So we're just gonna do a debrief on how everything went over the past 2 hours while you were branched out all the way across Oakwell and Squirrel Inn. And just as a chance for us to share, learn from each other, I would love for this to be the beginning of something. Beginning of us working together, coming back again, sharing knowledge, sharing information, understanding more about the ecological value, the historical value of this special place. So I'll leave the floor open if group leads want to say something, if anyone who was learning today wants to share something, and then after that, we invite you to just hang out.
I'll say a couple things because I have to take students back to Friends Central shortly. We worked a good bit on bees today and native bee diversity, and the native bee diversity is high. That doesn't surprise me. We had amazing mining bees. There were at least 3 different species of native mining bees that in the month of April are out and provisioning their nests. There are specialist cuckoo bees who parasitize the mining bees, and we saw 2 different species of those. I added my 1,000th species to iNaturalist today when I put my first species on. One of my students collected a beetle that I've never seen in my life, and that's fun for me to meet a new beetle in Pennsylvania. To me, if I go to Arizona, that's one thing, but for to see a beetle I've never seen before in Pennsylvania here at Oakwell today is really exciting. And what we realize is it's just scratching the surface. That's an hour and a half on one day in April. There are inchworm moth caterpillars and feeding in the maple trees. There is a tremendous array of things built out of really diversity of plants, and so really exciting to get to be here and see some stories and tell some stories. And there's a couple things we will probably need to DNA sequence to know exactly who they were. There was a slug that was big enough to put on a hot dog bun with ketchup. Giant leopards. I mean, it's just great, right? It's just great across all these different groups. So I'm thrilled to see so many of you here just appreciating the richness of diversity that's at a space like this, and it's really a treasure. I mean, this really is a place that's an oasis, right, for a lot of organisms that are finding this a great place to be sustained and to be able to share their lives in Lower Merion Township with us. So thanks everybody for coming out, and thanks to students and learners and everybody who's here. It's really great to be a part of this. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. I'll just say, we always talk, for Zone 2, we always talk about niche partitioning in ecology, right? Where different organisms take different niches and occupy the end of a branch or the middle of a branch if you're a lizard. But it felt like in our zone, everyone was niche partitioning the BioBlitzing. People were doing fungi and plants and birds and insects and isopods and all kinds of amazing things. And it was just incredible that you can bring people together on a day. Thank you to Erin and many others who organized this, and have people just sort out and start finding the incredible biodiversity here. And so the humans were niche partitioning and cataloging the amazing species here. So I thought that was really special and cool.
Lots of red-backed salamanders. Lots of them, especially over there. That was able to find 3 underneath one log. That's promising.
Very cool.
So Liz Porter and I were doing birds, and a few other people were stopping in occasionally, Charles, and then Greta, young Greta, called me over and said, look up. And now at that point, wait for it, there were 4 turkey vultures. Greta correctly identified with the dihedral wing. So that drew my eyes up, and we were watching, Greta and I, and then Liz came over, and then 5, and then 6 turkey vultures. And then we got to talking, and then I saw something fly over. I said to Liz, raptor. She handed me her binoculars because I forgot mine today. I had the scope, and I looked up, and it was a raven.
Raven?
Yes, a raven.
Oh, a raven.
A raven.
They're becoming much more common around here now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
They've gone from non-existent to fairly, every couple of weeks I see a raven in the area.
And what was interesting about it, for those who, crows typically flap more or less continuously unless they're landing or taking off, or they're up in the wind, they might. But this was not. It was gliding. So when I looked up, I thought it's going to be a red tail in gliding, and it was not. It was an all-black bird with a tail that's sort of a wedge shape. It has a particular kind of shape to the tail, and that's, exactly what when you see a big black bird, you think it might be a hawk, and then raven. So that was our bird of the day. We ended up, I think, with 26 species, and
I'm going to wrap this up and say thank you to everyone. Anyone who has to leave, go ahead. Please stay in touch with me, with our Facebook group. We'd love to see all the species counts popping up on iNaturalist. I would love to do this again. I would love to do a night collection. There's so many ideas about ways we can increase our knowledge about this place. So keep in touch with us. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming, and see you next time.
And Jan wants to do a group photo.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Stay Oakwell!
There you go. Thank you guys.